Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let's take a look at more things that you should check out on your iPhone in iOS 15. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So hopefully you caught my video earlier this week about 15 things to check out on your iPhone now that iOS 15 is out. Here are more things to check out. Let's start here in Facetime. Facetime's got a bunch of new features. I'm going to show you just 3 here. One is that while using it, if you bring up Control Center, you'll see mic mode right there. Go into that and you could select voice isolation, which will do noise cancellation. It'll take out all the background noise and it will just focus on your voice. You could also force it into wide spectrum to grab as much around you as possible. And if you switch cameras and go to the back camera, you can now pinch with 2 fingers and zoom in. So perhaps the coolest feature that's added to all of iOS 15, at least for some of us, is the ability to, in FaceTime, create a link to a FaceTime video chat. Doesn't sound like a big deal until you realize that those links will work for Android and Windows users as well. They click it, they'll go to a web page that allows them to participate with their camera and microphone and everything. So these links now you could send them in messages, you can copy them and send them out any way you want, and now our Windows and Android friends can join us on our group FaceTime chats. In System Preferences, if you go to Notifications, there's a great new feature here for Scheduled Summary. If you turn that on, now you can pick some apps and then those will have their notifications grouped together and sent to you at specific times. Siri has some new things as well. One is that it can translate your speech to text to understand it on your device. It doesn't have to send it to Apple first. So some things can be done with no connection at all. Set a timer for 5 minutes. And also Siri understands the word this a lot better. So say you're in the Maps app, maybe looking at a web page, or maybe in the News app here. You can ask Siri to send this to somebody and it knows what you're talking about. Send this to MACMOST demo. And you can see it's going to send a link to this news story. So if you go into your Apple ID settings and then from there go into password security, there's a new feature called Account Recovery. Go into that, you can add a recovery contact. So this could be somebody you really trust, like your spouse for instance. And then if you lose access to your account, maybe you forgot your password or you lost access to your 2-factor codes, they can help you recover your account. They don't have access to your account. They just now have the ability to help you get back in. In accessibility, there's a great new feature if you go down to audio visual for background sounds. So you can turn on background sounds and it plays sounds in the background. You can change the volume. You could change the sound. There are a bunch to choose from. And this could be useful for a lot of people who need background sound to help concentrate, but just about any of us could use it as a white noise generator. A couple of things you can do here on the home screen. One is that you can go into edit mode now and you can tap down here and just like before you could turn on and off certain screens. But now you can also rearrange the screens. Also when you go to add widgets, there are some new widgets. One is contacts. So you could have a 1, 2, or 4 contact widget and then you could define exactly who is in that widget and then use those to call them, start a message, and do other things. There's also a new mail widget so you can see your recent incoming messages right there on your home screen and jump right to them. That means we can do more than ever now right on the home screen without having to first go into an app. Safari of course has a new look and tab groups and all that, but here are some other things. One is you can now refresh a page the same way you refresh content in other places in iOS by simply dragging down and you can see how it refreshes the page there. Also when you want to do a search, just tap into the search field there and there's a little microphone. Tap that and you could do a search. You don't even have to do anything when you're done. Just stop talking. MACMOST video tutorials. So in settings in passwords, just like before you could look up all your passwords. But now with a password entry you can also add 2-factor codes. So use setup verification code here And then you could add a special code or scan a QR code. And this will work with things like Google accounts so that Safari can fill in not only the password but the two-factor code automatically. It'll make logging onto two-factor sites a lot easier. Drag and drop has also gotten a lot more useful. Here's an example. I'm in the Photos app. I'm going to use one finger and I'm going to start dragging a photo. With the other finger I'm going to drag up on the home screen bar there at the bottom. Now I'm going to go into Mail and start composing a new message. And then I could just drag and drop it into that message. And you could do the same thing with other apps and bits of text and everything. Now we know that Find My iPhone is a great tool to prevent theft, or if somebody steals your phone you could track them. But what if they just turn your phone off? Well, now your phone will continue to send out its location up to 24 hours after being shut off. So that makes it even harder to steal and even easier for you to get back. And here's one last one. I love using the Maps app not just to get directions or to research a location, but just to explore. I like geography. I like being able to look around. Well, now in the new Maps app you can zoom all the way out to a globe view and it looks beautiful. And then you can use that to just take a closer look at things. You can even switch to satellite view, and in satellite view you also get night and day. So you can see there's a lot to explore and play around with in iOS 15 on the iPhone. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.